Did you imagine that you would have plenty of things to do during this time of isolation, or that you would run out of things to do? Did you think it would be a more relaxing time or a more stressful time? I'm betting on stressful. And I think it has been stressful for a lot of people. Any change in routine is naturally going to be very stressful. How about for teleworkers, people who are used to working in a different setting? Now they're trying to work at home. And as a result, they're finding it harder to do their normal jobs, harder to be in touch with their colleagues, and yet they're distracted by things at home. And just doing simple things anymore, like shopping, is more difficult. I had this idea that I was going to take up playing the saxophone again during this time of isolation. Hasn't happened yet. And now my daughter is coming home from college. I think she's going to take a dim view of me playing the saxophone in the house. And speaking of which, closer family interactions can cause stress. Check out the dark humor of this restaurant sign. If I'm quarantined with my wife for 2 weeks and I die, it wasn't the virus. Yet even in this time of stress and uncertainty, I think we have an opportunity to replenish ourselves, to refresh ourselves. Let's explore how in this video. When I started these Reboot Camp videos, I was mainly thinking of using this time of isolation to become better at our faith when things get back to normal. But I'm realizing we need the best of our faith right here, right now, and we also need it later. Cecil Taylor Ministries is focused on teaching Christians how to live a practical 7-day faith. So in each devotional, I will state a faith problem and recommend a remedy and how to put it into practice. This is number 7 of the 12-part series. The problem is we don't understand dormancy and how to properly go about being dormant. What do I mean by that? Well, on my website, I have a series called The Legacy Tree, which uses the metaphor of trees to teach us how to live a Christian life of significance. And there's a concept in there called dormancy, of having downtime, of having rest. And in that, there are 2 types of trees that I mentioned that map to people, in my opinion. There are deciduous trees that drop their leaves in the fall, and they need this long dormancy period in order to recharge their energy. And then there are coniferous trees, which actually don't drop their leaves and still will have some sort of quiet time and less energetic time, yet they just need less time to recharge. I think people are that way. I'm coniferous myself. Just a quick nap or some exercise or quiet time on the patio or working in the yard, that's enough to get me recharged and get going again. But my wife is deciduous, and she needs longer, more dedicated time in order to recharge. Which type are you? And what kind of refreshing do you do, and does it match your type? The question is, how can we go about being dormant and refreshing ourselves during this time of isolation? I asked my father, who was a minister, how he went about to rest when he actually worked on a day of rest. And he said, well, I had to take a different time during the week for my own rest, and I had to set it aside. And to me, rest is doing something different. I really like that concept, and it applies as we think about holy and the word holy used in the Bible. The word used for holy in Hebrew in the Old Testament and in Greek in the New Testament has a concept of set apart, something different from anything else. I think that's a useful concept as we consider refreshing ourselves, that we need the ability to set apart, set aside, do something different. So during this time of isolation and during the stress that we talked about at the start of this video, you'll need refresh time. I want you to consider exploring the ways in which you can use your deciduous nature or your coniferous nature to do something different. Whatever type fits you, it's okay. But the main point is set apart, set aside time and refresh yourself because you need it.